Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and May is actually Military Appreciation Month, so what better way to appreciate them than to invite them to the Nightcap? So I actually have some veterans here, and we're going to discuss some of their military affairs, marital affairs, ex-marital affairs, and all the other affairs that go on and we're curious about. And they're sitting, waiting for me on the couch, so let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's get to know the veterans who have joined me today. Here to my left, I've got Joey Hereford here for the very first time.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Excited to chat with you. In the center, we've seen her before. We've got Kendall Butler here to talk about something very different.
Very.
And next to her, we've got Larry Anderson.
How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
All right, so all of you are veterans.
Yes.
Yep.
Have served your time. Let's hear from you, Larry. What branch were you part of? How long did you serve?
I was in the United States Navy. I did 22 years in the Navy, just retired last year on the 31st of March.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So over a year over retirement.
Yes.
How does it feel?
I have mixed feelings about it. You know, sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I'm glad to be gone.
You're like blessings.
Yeah.
And other times it's like, dang,
Right.
the structure of the military, right?
Right.
Seriously.
Kendall?
I am a 14-year U.S. Navy veteran as well. U.S. Navy veteran as well. I got out in 2017 and decided I wanted to be a mom and be able to, you know, do all the things that as a mother, I feel like I should be able to be there. In the military, I just didn't feel like playing the game anymore. The older I got, the less I really wanted to play by their rules. So, yeah, it's been out for half the time that I was in, and it has been a journey.
Do you miss it now that you're 7 years removed? Are you like,
I'm going to say I miss the 1st and the 15th paydays. But other than that, people's egos, people trying to, I'm a whatever, so I can talk to you any kind. No, I don't miss any of it. There's so many opportunities, and I tell people all the time, do not be scared to be a civilian. Like, it is, the grass is greener on the other side. You just need to figure out your resources because they're there.
a resource like the chaplain next to me? All right, Joey, let's hear.
Well, let's see. I was active duty Army for 5 years. I was going to do a career thing. I ended up getting custody of my son, and they told me I could have the Army or my kid, and I went home.
You chose your kid, absolutely. All right, so any regrets on leaving so early? Everything? Oof.
That is such a mixed
Oh
feeling
yeah,
thing.
I felt it in that sigh.
Well, because I'd be retiring next year. And I already had all my paperwork to go be a warrant officer, and it is what it is. God had other plans.
And you're a chaplain now.
Yeah, among a dozen other things.
What exactly does that mean?
I'm what's known as 90% and TDIU, which is temporary disability, individual unemployability with the VA, which means the VA says I'm not allowed to work, but they pay me out at the fully retired rate, basically.
Okay.
So I volunteer with, oh God, 30 organizations-ish.
Wow. Okay.
I've spent the last about 7 years real hot and heavy networking, getting out there, trying different things, finding the different roles that work for me. I'm involved in a lot of different stuff.
Considering you only served 5 years, why do you feel like you...
What would you do if you didn't have to work ever?
I have no idea.
Find something to do to keep your time occupied.
He continues to serve his community as a civilian. Yeah.
Do you, Larry, Kendall, find yourself serving the community because you feel like that need?
I see it coming, but I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to focus on my family and I first. If I'm not there, I can't help. I can't be a help for anybody else, you know, if I'm not taken care of, you know. So I have to make sure my household is taken care of first, and then I can go and help everybody else. I mean, I'm only a year removed from being retired, so I feel like I still got a little bit of time left before I'm able to go out and do the things that I need to do. But I did tell him that I will be joining the Veterans Chamber of Commerce over where we live.
So you're going to take a step. What about you, Kendall?
I definitely feel that I serve, but not in the capacity of a professional organization per se. It's more so in the people I meet and being able to share resources, because you don't know what you're preparing for when you get out the military. You have no idea. And we're put into a TAPS GPS to like, hey, here's all these resources. So it's this fire hose of information, and you're still trying to figure out separating from the military. And so whenever I meet people, you know, have you filed your disability claim? You know, have you, if you own a home, have you filed your property tax exemption for your disability? Like, it's all kind of things that people just don't know. So for me, I feel like serving, especially being a realtor, being able to show people the perks of home ownership, as well as being a disabled veteran, or when you're relocating here, you know, knowing those resources to be able to help you save money every month. You assume that people know this information just because we're all vets, but it is such uncommon knowledge. And, you know, that's why I really value this man right here, is because even though he can't work, he still pours in other people. Even meet me coming across the street just saying, hey, he's like, hey, have you filed your disability rating?
Right out the gate.
I did, Joey,
Wow.
thank you.
Well, yeah, and
you
I
know?
met you through John.
Through the realtor who I bought my house.
Through her realtor.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
her realtor is the vice president of the Houston Veterans Chamber of Commerce that he's about to join.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
It's a
nice
real small community.
I mean, I feel like there's
Everybody
a lot of
kinda knows each other.
stereotypes about the benefits with the homelessness and the lack of help, but all the help. So I really want to dive into that if y'all are down. All right, you stay right there because our conversation with the veterans continues after the break. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking to veterans here on the show. We've got Joey, Kendall, and Larry, and we've been sharing, you know, your time in the military, what you've been doing since. But before the break, Kendall, you shared how you're serving the community through your realtor position and helping back. But Joey, you mentioned that there's very few who are actually giving the resources.
There's more need than there are bodies to fill the need, for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like I see a lot more homeless veterans than I see from any other population.
90% of the homeless veterans are there by choice.
By choice. Okay,
Because
speak
they're
on it.
There are a ton of organizations that will allow them to move in tonight, but they have to abide by the facility rules and be sober. Substance abuse is probably the #1 plague in the veteran community.
And do you think it's due to the mental illness that happens because of their time in service?
For sure.
And the lack of
Trauma.
assistance in transitioning from military life to civilian life?
I think it's the lack of counseling, the lack of resources, the lack of availability of counseling.
Kendall, Larry, obviously you guys don't share that same experience. Do you identify in any way?
I am not upset with my time in the military. I feel like I was able to see a lot that I normally would not have been able to see coming from Greenville, South Carolina. Like, I would have been, you know, I can see what my life would have been had I not left home. So the military has definitely served a great purpose in mine and my sphere, you know, my circle of sphere of influence, but I can definitely see where there is a need. I used to work for the food bank, the Meals on Wheels, and it was in a U.S. vet site, and it was a lot of homeless veterans. Like, they would go on to this, basically right across the street under the bridge, and they would recruit people to come in and, hey, let's help you not be homeless. So they have HUD VASH, which is HUD for veterans, to be able to get, like he said, you get your housing right now. They have counselors on staff that are helping you to get your paperwork through. So I can definitely agree with him with people are homeless by choice, because there are so many resources for where they don't have to be.
I've been doing this for about, 6 or 7 years now, and I've worked with, thousands of clients. I found that a veteran's trust in the VA is directly proportional to their level of healing from the military.
Would you tell kids watching now who are interested in being in the military to join?
Get your bachelor's degree and go be an officer. Don't enlist. I would not recommend anybody enlist.
Kendall?
There's two parts to this. I do believe that the military is Squid Games. I really do. Like, if anybody has watched Squid Games, hey, if you make it out alive, you get free education, a free home loan, and all these other things, but you got to make it out alive. However, it's not like you're walking in there expecting to die, but just understand that the military is a tool. It is a tool that you go in and I don't care if your toe is achy, go talk to medical, because it could be because your boots aren't fitting the way that they're supposed to because you didn't get a new pair every 6 months like you're supposed to. Complain, complain, complain. Be the squeaky wheel because when you get out, all that complaining is going to be able to come back and help you.
Yep.
Larry?
I'm kind of biased because I was a recruiter. So I would tell the youngsters nowadays, before you do anything, do your research. You go in there and you set the tone for the recruiter. Don't let the recruiter set the tone for you. Don't just go on Reddit, because we had a lot of people come into our recruiting office. Well, I read on Reddit that I shouldn't pick this job. Okay, on Reddit, did it tell you what job you should pick? Did it tell you how to qualify? Did it tell you, like, for some aviation jobs, are you colorblind? Mm-hmm. If you're colorblind and you fail depth perception, you can't be an aviation job. Also, don't just look at the ASVAB as just another test. Look at that.
What is the ASVAB?
The ASVAB, that's the test that you take before you join the Navy or the military. So it pretty much tells you, according to what you score on different parts of the test, it tells you what you can be in the military, like what job you can have. With that being said, like, I highly recommend people joining the military, because it goes against what he said, but if we have all officers are no enlisted, what good is the officers to us?
We're going to get a little spicy coming up next. So you stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. It's Military Appreciation Month, so we've been having a very honest and candid conversation with the veterans on my couch. We've got Joey, Kendall, and Larry. But let's talk about deployment booze. Because, you hear a lot about the messy drama, love, and divorce, and hookups, and orgies. Oh, not y'all shaking your heads yes and no.
Not an orgy.
I'm a chaplain. I don't know what you're talking about.
What happens on deployment state? No, I'm kidding. Like,
no, this is my opportunity to ask because y'all are no longer active.
I was in a co-ed unit. There were a few females, and some of them were decent friends. Let's leave it there.
Was it just
Called
a few
MWR
females?
tools.
Was it a few to the whole unit? Was it like a few females?
There
and then
were
it was a
like
bunch
6
of
females in the unit out of 300 people. One of them,
we
we
can
were
only
good friends.
imagine. One of them? I'm sure all of them had
Hey,
good
look,
friends, a few good friends.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. I mean, he said what he said, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to take a sip, and Kendall's going to tackle this. Deployment booze. What'd you see? What'd you hear? What'd you do?
Oh, man. What did I do? I fought for my country.
For your country,
for
huh?
My country's
You
right.
did that for your country? Damn.
I mean, okay, so in the Navy, we're deployed for months. So you kind of you do form relationships with people. I'm not gonna lie. Yes.
Relationships, like entanglements and situationships.
Oh, it's a whole bunch.
Yes, all three.
Friendships. Oh, all of them.
I'll give you a story. There was this, he was in the weapons department. So you have different departments. I was in air department. This particular situation, the guy was in weapons. And the female, she was in operations department. And the guy was talking to like 3 or 4 chicks on the ship. 3 or 4, and it's 5,000 people on an aircraft carrier. Something like, it's a mini city, it's a city on the water, right? He's talking to these different chicks, and both of them get pregnant on the deployment.
Oh.
But he's married. So now,
This is the kind of tea I live for on the Nightcap.
pearls clutched. Pearls clutched.
Hold on, did he have kids or was he just married?
He had 2 on the way, that's for sure.
Oh, he definitely had 2 on the way.
He
Okay.
definitely had 2 on the way, and so of course the 2 females had to get flown off the ship because you can't be pregnant on an aircraft carrier because you're there to fight wars and be, Uncle Sam's property. So if you got a whole baby growing inside of you, you can't efficiently. You're a liability. He did get in trouble. The 2 females got flown off. He definitely, but I think that they made him call his wife on the captain's mast to tell her what he had done.
The Navy might actually do something. The Army doesn't give a damn.
Wow. What'd you see? Okay, you already shared a little
I
bit
don't know
about
what you're talking about.
Joey, I'm gonna need you to not have amnesia for a
When
second.
these cameras aren't rolling, I got a story.
Damn it! I thought we vetted him.
Oh, man. Hey, man, look.
I've heard of that at least 3
14
times.
months later in the desert, you do some things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, your discretion started going away after a
No,
while.
it is no.
Like,
Okay, Larry,
Mm-hmm.
you're happily married, met your wife on deployment. Is
Mm-hmm.
that accurate?
Correct. That's accurate.
So how did that happen? Were you allowed to do this? Like, what's going on?
So technically, no. You're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be having relationships and stuff like that while deployed, you know. But I saw her. She saw me. We would sit together during our meal times and converse, and we'll email each other back and forth and that. And then, you know, one thing
And then you
led
guys
to
met
another.
up in the janitor's closet one night?
No. We pulled into Dubai, and that's where we had our first date off the ship, you know, and the rest is history. Yes.
So y'all never shagged on the ship?
No, man. I'm 6'7". I can't.
Like logistically, how do you do
Like,
this?
logistically, I can't do it.
do you see how tall I am? Like, where am I gonna fit?
You are, man, like tall as hell, bro.
Yeah, shagging on the ship
Yeah,
though.
I couldn't do that. And plus, it was late in my career, and I wasn't about to risk it doing that because majority of my career I was on all male ships.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why I don't have the stories that they have.
I mean, I hear a lot about all male ships.
Well, you
too.
ain't heard it
It's the
from me.
Navy
'cause
too.
I
I'm
don't-
just saying.
See, no, you ain't heard that from me.
Oh, I said it. I said it.
I'm a woman.
I know
so-
you offended. It's okay.
I'm not. Nope. I don't. How people get through their deployment is how they get through
That's
their
how they get through
deployment.
At the end of the day, just trying to get to the, just trying to get through it. Man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You learn how to cope, and
Yeah.
I feel like the military teaches us how to cope.
You know what I want to know? I want to know if we would do it again. All right, you stay right there because I've got more burning questions for my veterans coming up next. Welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm sitting with some veterans. We've got Joey, Kendall, and Larry. One final burning question. Would you do it again?
Hell yeah, I would, because it's still. For me personally, I did not have a bad experience.
Joey, would you do it again?
I would. Learned a lot.
Larry, would you do it again?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I got to do some really cool stuff that you just can't do as a
You
civilian.
can't.
It's not the way it works.
Like, you don't get up close to aircraft like on the flight deck, like seeing an aircraft launch off. Like, you see those things in commercials, but it's like, man, I actually pushed the button to launch it off. Like,
Dude, I pulled 250,000 pounds through Baghdad behind my wrecker. Like, you can't do that here.
no.
Me personally, knowing what I know now, I would definitely go back and do the Navy all over again. A lot of sailors complain about being gone 6, 7, 8, 9 months at a time, but like in that amount of time, you know how many countries you see, you know how many places you visit, you know. So, and those are experiences that you can share when you come back home, and those are memories you're gonna forever have. You know,
I saw Paris because of the Navy.
right?
Like,
Wow.
people in
Dubai.
Marseille, France.
I've been to Dubai 8 times.
That's it. I mean, I almost got an apartment in Dubai. We was over there.
All right, before we say goodbye, I wanted to say thank you for your service, but it sounds very cliche. How do you feel when somebody says thank you for your service? Not you laughing, Joey.
He laughs and
Having
smirks at
flashbacks to some of
everything.
the things your tax dollars paid for.
Oh,
Let's not get into that. Statute of
Oh, it's
limitations.
funny.
okay.
No, I just try to say thank you for your support. It was real hard in the beginning, but I just try to say thank you for your support. There's not really it's all cliche. There's
Yeah.
not really a good answer.
It feels very nice when people say it, because you realize how much support you have from the country and the communities that we serve. You know, regardless of how it looks, when people say that, you know, thank you for your service, and they were like, my grandpa was in the Army, my uncle, my brother, you know, all the people. It's like that's the way for them to connect with you. So it feels very like you said, thank you for your support, because we need that.
Yeah.
They give care packages when on deployment. You have different organizations that send care packages so you feel like someone cares. You know, those things matter. They make a difference.
Larry, your thoughts?
I like it when people tell me that, honestly, because I've been on both sides where people saw me in uniform, just looked at me and didn't say anything, you know. And then there's other people that see me and say, thank you for your service, let me buy your lunch, or thank you for your service, how much did you pay for your gas, and they'll reimburse you and stuff like that. So I appreciate it, honestly, you know. So if just the gesture of thank you for your service, I wholeheartedly appreciate it, to be honest with you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
like
in
that-
that case, thank you for your service.
Like that truck
Thank
sitting
you for your
outside
support.
that I drove up in was on the field at Minute Maid Stadium from
Oh,
one
yeah.
of these organizations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he won it at Minute Maid Park.
They asked me to throw out the first pitch at a baseball game, and right before I went out there, they brought all these guys in Chevy shirts out there and handed me a big novelty key and drove it on the field, sitting out front.
And it's a
hell
nice
yeah.
truck.
I'm not bitching. Don't get me wrong.
No.
We don't bite the hand that feeds us now, even if it's a snack, okay?
All right.
It's a
Cheers
nice
to
damn
you
truck.
at home, and for those of you who are serving or have served, thank you for your service. We'll see you guys.
Love it.
We've got every episode of The Nightcap, and we can go for hours. Download the Fox Local app on any of the following smart TV platforms and get in on the fun.